Jonah was a quiet man who lived close to the sea. He loved peaceful days, calm water, and the smell of the wind. He believed in God deeply, but he was not the kind of man who wanted trouble or danger. He prayed every morning in his small home, asking God to guide his steps gently. Jonah liked simple things: silence, safety, and a quiet, watching waves hit the shore. When he felt something inside him shift, a strong, clear voice that was not his own. "Jonah," the voice said, "go to the great city of Nineveh. Their wickedness has reached me. Speak to them. Tell them to turn back to God." Jonah's heart froze. Nineveh? The most dangerous city in the land? A place full of violence, pride, and cruelty? "God, not me," Jonah whispered in fear. "Please send someone else." He felt the calling again, gentle but firm. "Go, Jonah." Jonah stood up quickly. His hands shook. His throat felt tight. "No," he said to himself. "I cannot do this. They will not listen. They will kill me. I must escape." He looked back at his home one last time, then ran toward the harbor. He saw a ship leaving for Tarshish, a place far, far away from Nineveh, far away from responsibility, far away from the mission God had given him. Jonah paid for his ticket with trembling hands and hurried onto the ship. He did not look back. He thought, if I go far enough, maybe God will forget about me. Maybe I can live quietly again. The ship pulled away from the shore. Waves rose around them, and Jonah went down into the lower deck. He lay down and closed his eyes, exhausted from fear and running. But Jonah did not know one truth. You can run from fear. You can run from people. But you cannot run from God's love. As the ship sailed deeper into the sea, the sky began to darken. Winds grew stronger. Waves crashed like thunder. A great storm had begun. The sailors panicked. They cried out to their gods. They threw cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah slept. Deep, heavy sleep, as if the weight of his escape had pushed his soul down. The captain shook him awake, shouting, "Wake up! Call on your God! Maybe he will save us." Jonah's heart sank. He knew. He knew the storm was because of him. The men cast lots to see who had brought the trouble. The lot fell on Jonah. They turned to him with fearful eyes. "Who are you? What have you done?" Jonah swallowed hard and said quietly, "I am a Hebrew. I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, and I am running from him." The sailors' faces went pale. "What should we do to stop the storm?" Jonah breathed deeply, looked at the angry sea, and said with tears, "Throw me into the water, and the storm will stop." "Throw you into the sea?" Their voices shook. "We cannot do that." They tried harder to row back to land, but the waves grew stronger, the wind louder, the storm wilder. The sea was fighting them. Jonah looked at the sky, dark, heavy, full of God's voice, and he knew there was no other way. With calm sadness, he whispered, "Do it. This is my fault. God is calling me." And I ran. The sailors prayed, not to their gods this time, but to Jonah's God. "Lord, forgive us. Do not hold this against us." Then, with trembling hands, they lifted Jonah and released him into the raging sea. The moment Jonah's body touched the water, the storm began to quiet. The waves softened. The wind relaxed. The sky slowly cleared. But Jonah sank deeper. The water swallowed him. He felt the cold grip of the sea pulling him down, deeper and deeper, until his lungs burned and darkness wrapped around him. He whispered inside his mind, "God, is this the end for me?" But God was not finished. A giant fish, sent by God, not by chance, swam toward Jonah and opened its wide mouth. In one moment, the creature swallowed him whole. Darkness, silence, no waves, no air, just Jonah, alone inside the belly of the fish. He lay there trembling, surrounded by water, seaweed, and the echo of his own heartbeat. At first he cried, not from pain, but from regret. He had run from God. He had disobeyed. He had let fear guide him. Inside that dark, strange place, Jonah began to pray, not the soft prayers he used to pray at home, but prayers from a broken, wounded heart. "God, I called to you from the deep, and you heard me. When I sank under the waves, you did not leave me. You brought me here, inside this strange place, to save me, not destroy me." Tears rolled down Jonah's face. He touched the walls around him and felt no anger from God, only mercy. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah prayed. He remembered every moment of his life. He remembered God's kindness. He remembered the calling he tried to escape. Little by little, Jonah's heart changed. He lifted his head and said, "Lord, I will go where you send me. I will speak the words you give me. I belong to you." The moment he surrendered, the huge fish trembled. It swam upward, toward the light, toward land. With one mighty force, it spit Jonah out onto the shore, wet, weak, shaking, but alive. Jonah lay there in the sand, breathing deeply, feeling the sun warm his skin. And then he heard it, that same gentle voice. "Jonah, go to Nineveh." This time, Jonah stood up. He did not run. He did not hide. He looked toward the long road ahead and whispered, "Yes, Lord." Jonah brushed the sand from his clothes and looked toward the long, dusty road that led to Nineveh. He felt weak, tired, shaken from the darkness of the fish's belly. But his heart was different now. He whispered to himself, "God saved me. God gave me another chance. I will obey." The journey to Nineveh took many days. Jonah walked through heat, dry winds, and lonely roads. He had plenty of time to think. About fear, about running, about the mercy God had shown him. Sometimes he touched his chest and said, "Why did you save me, Lord?" And in his heart he felt the quiet answer, "Because I love you." When Jonah finally reached Nineveh, his breath caught in his throat. The city was huge, walls tall as mountains, streets crowded with merchants, soldiers, and noise. He felt small, almost invisible. For a moment, fear returned. What if they laugh at me? What if they attack me? What if no one listens? But Jonah closed his eyes and remembered the storm, the sea, the darkness, the mercy. He opened his eyes again. "I will speak," he said to himself. "Even if my voice shakes." Jonah walked into the heart of Nineveh and began to preach. "Turn from your evil ways. If you continue in wickedness, this city will be destroyed." People stopped and stared. Some were shocked. Some were confused. Some felt their hearts tremble because Jonah's voice carried truth. Word spread quickly. Soon the message reached the king. The king stepped down from his throne, removed his royal robe, and put on rough clothes of mourning. He bowed his head and declared, "Let every person in Nineveh cry out to God with all their heart. Let us turn from our violence. Perhaps the Lord will have mercy." And for the first time in many years, the city grew quiet. People stopped their evil ways. Men and women knelt in the streets. Children prayed beside their parents. Even animals were kept from eating, as a sign of sorrow and repentance. It was a sight Jonah never expected to see. Thousands of hearts turning to God. And God saw them. He saw their tears, their broken hearts, their desire to change. So he showed them mercy. He spared the city. Jonah sat outside Nineveh, under a small plant that grew above his head. He watched the city and felt confused. "God," he said, "they did wrong. Why did you forgive them so quickly?" A warm wind blew across Jonah's face, and God whispered to his heart, "Jonah, you knew mercy in the belly of the fish. Should I not show mercy to people who are lost and finally want to come home?" Jonah lowered his head. He understood. He had run from God, yet God chased him with love. He had disobeyed, yet God saved him. If God had mercy on Jonah, why wouldn't he have mercy on Nineveh? Jonah walked away from the city. With a softer heart, he finally understood that God's love is bigger than fear, bigger than mistakes, bigger than anger. And Jonah's life became a reminder for every generation.